What is good, everybody? It is Big Game James back in the building, and you know what it is, Big Star Show, and we're back here, and we like to be talking about some other things right now, except this draft. But hey, I do love the draft. Actually, we're going to be talking about some Senior Bowl prospects. We're not going to have some doom
Mhm.
and gloom. We already know about that. We already went through that. It's they talking about on Twitter, so it ain't going no point of talking about it right now because I already
Right.
made a video. Go watch my video. It was a good rant. Go watch it. I had a good time. I had a good time ranting, but we ain't gonna do that right now. We're going to talk about prospects because I like to do it. I know you like to do it. And hey, the draft is always good for people, players, everything. And the Cowboys will be looking at prospects. But before I keep going, how you doing, Miss Star?
Doing great, Big. What's up, everybody in the chat? Glad to be here tonight again for another episode of the Big Star Show. As Big said, we did the doom and gloom last week, and it's doom and gloom on Twitter, and it'll be that way till we figure out what the heck is gonna go on with our team. But watching draft film and stuff like that, I was like, it made me feel good. I was like, the draft is fun. Like looking at these
Very
young kids
fun.
and these prospects that could potentially be on your team. Like draft time is definitely fun. So I'm excited to talk about some of the young prospects because some of them that I watched, especially the linebackers, gave me chills with their play. So I think we could get some of these players. I think it would definitely help us, especially on that defensive side of the ball for sure.
Yeah, like I said, I'm with you, Star, as far as the draft. I love the draft. The draft is the
Mhm.
most exciting part to me. I love watching the youngsters from high school because I coach, and
Yeah.
then the college, and then really just the draft process. The combine, just really, and then just really the Senior Bowl. I had always been watching the Senior Bowl, Star, for probably about
Mhm.
maybe almost. I'm gonna say almost close to 10 years. I mean, I would always just kind of keep my eye on it. I used to always watch
Mhm.
it on ESPN. I never covered it like this, so that's why it's
Mhm.
exciting now. I would just watch it, but I still read up on all the players. I kind of knew about them, and it was just exciting to watch. And then when I
Mhm.
went for my first time 2 years ago, me and my girl went. We went on the weekend just to go to the game. So that
Yeah.
was once we experienced that, I was like, okay, I need to get back here again. And you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like I need to do this again because
Mhm.
it was 10 times better when you're in the field, you're right there. So it's not like
Yep.
you're way up in the stands. You're right
Yep.
there seeing the action. So you're getting to see everything. And now,
Mhm.
by the grace of God, I got media credentials, so I'm going to actually be able to be in the full practices, be able to sit in the interviews. We got a couple people inbox me that I'm going to be meeting with them Wednesday and Thursday to go over some things. They're going to show me some things how they do the prospects. They'll set up profiles, portfolios for how we want to do our interviews, backgrounds, things of that nature. So
Okay. Awesome.
I'm really excited because, like I said,
Mhm.
I just went to the game 2 years ago. Now I'm actually going
Yeah.
to be there in the mix, so I'm
And
going
yeah.
hard in the paint. So all the
Yeah.
things that we'll be able to talk about, the players you'll
Mhm.
be able to see, and then maybe the players that you may mention, Star. These are the
Mhm.
players I will be attacking. If I can see them, which I will,
Okay.
I'll be able to ask them these questions that we're talking about right now, so we can get the good, real good stuff. We ain't asking no
Mhm.
fake questions out there. I don't know who asked questions out from everybody else, but y'all ain't heard Big Game James. Now y'all know how I go
Uh-huh.
hard. I ain't bragging, but y'all know how I go. I'm going hard with these
Yep.
questions. I ain't answering no flugazy questions. I ain't asking no goofy questions. I'm getting to the meat of it. I'm attacking it already. Okay,
Mhm.
so you play this. What about this? That's where I'm going. Okay, just so y'all
Uh-huh.
know.
Uh-huh. That's what we need. That's what we need, especially from these young guys, because I think, if Dallas can, we always pick, I think, guys with good talent, but we don't always pick the best prospects up here. And I'm like, if we could get you being able to get behind the scenes and like actually interview these prospects and get up and close and personal on them, I mean, that is going to be amazing, and it'll be so exciting to talk about it. Once when you get done, and so we can recap about how it went and stuff. So.
Yeah, like I said, I'm really excited for a star, and like I said,
Mhm.
I get the college college all 22 tape every year. So I'm
Mhm.
really going to start dabbling in the players and being able to look at those a
Mhm.
few more times, actually, before I get to see them live in practice. But obviously, we're going to talk about a few things. One of the few things that we're going to talk about is needs, or a perceived needs that maybe you're perceiving. I know I have my top 5 needs that I would love to see for the Dallas Cowboys to do.
Mhm.
What would be your top 5 things if you already knew them, or what would be your top 5 kind of things that you think the Cowboys
Yep.
need right now?
Um, I would say interior offensive line, specifically the center position. And I think we also need to get us a we need another tackle because we have Austin Richards, but he's a left side player. We really don't have anybody to back up Terrence Steele or even compete. We just pay Terrence Steele, so he's going to be the starter, but we don't have anybody to back him up, and I think we need to get that. So I would say offensive line for sure. Then I would say running back. Um, then I would say linebacker. This is not in order. This is just top
Mhm.
5 needs. So running back, line, offensive line, linebacker, cornerback, and then I would say wide receiver as well. I would put wide receiver at 5, just because I think me personally, I think we need another dog in the building that is outside of CD Lamb. Um, after seeing what happened in the playoff game and stuff like that, I'm like, we can't have our entire offense. It sounds good, and we all mantra this spam lamb and all that stuff, and that's all good for the season. But in playoffs, it's not good, and we definitely need another dog. I feel like that at receiver that can be another target for Dak. Because I mean, I like Brandon Cooks, but I don't think Brandon Cooks gave us what we were expecting from him, this year. And he'll be here again next year because I think he signed a 2-year deal. But I would like to bring a young spark into this locker room. If we're being honest, so I would say would be my top 5.
Okay, okay, and I'm gonna give you mine, and then we're gonna listen to Jim Nagy. He's actually over the Senior Bowl. I want y'all to listen to him because he's going to talk about what we're talking about: offensive lineman, interior. Now, here I'm a little bit different than you because I definitely like offensive linemen. I would like to get an offensive lineman if we're drafting 24. I'm not mad if you draft an offensive tackle 24th. I
Mhm.
know they're talking about re-sign Tyron Smith, all that, whatever, whatever. It's
Mhm.
whatever y'all want to do with that. I'm
Mhm.
over the Tyron Smith thing, but I don't make the decisions. But if
Right.
I had my own preference, I wouldn't be mad at an offensive tackle at
Mhm.
24.
Mhm.
Because or offensive lineman, either interior or outerior. What are you going to do? I want to know what the plan is with Tyler Smith. And that's the problem
Mhm.
with Tyron Smith being there. Because what is the clear cut plan for Tyler Smith? And that's where I'm trying to figure out what would I want drafted. Because if you're saying tackle, right, at left tackle
Mhm.
24, then you're saying Tyler Smith is going to stay at your left guard.
Mhm.
But if you're doing the Tyron Smith plan and you draft a tackle, then you know what I'm saying? That Tyron
Yep.
Smith, I'm not saying he's a progress stopper, but it's in the way of figuring out what you want to do with Tyler Smith to me. So I
Yep.
still want an interior guy. Hopefully they get that. And then
Mhm.
not in any order, I want a defensive lineman. Okay. Whether it's
Mhm.
an edge guy or a defensive tackle, they got Mozzie, but Hankins, we heard about him. We seen his video. He would love to come back. I hope he comes back. I think he's still a good
Mhm.
player, but he is a year older. Okay.
Mhm.
Ozzy, I don't know what the plan is for him. Okay. It's
Mhm.
been well documented how he lost 30 pounds. And that was, in my eyes,
Yep.
not the plan because we wanted
Mhm.
to stop the run, not rush the passer, which he's never done in Michigan. So I feel like we need another interior guy. So we need another big boy. I don't know how
You're right on. Yeah,
I
you're
don't
right
know
on
how
that for
early we
sure.
get to that, But we
Yeah.
have two guys in the Senior Bowl, and I'm going to scroll down to them right now that have been some dogs, and everybody's talking about already. Star is
Mhm.
let me get down here. Where that defensive lineman? Uh, 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 where's he at? Sweat. Where's he at? Byron Murphy, first of all, he was a big boy. They had that combination, Byron Murphy, and then
Mhm.
DeAndre, was it Devontae Sweat, I believe?
Yeah. Yeah.
They are both in the senior. Here we go. Devondre Sweat,
Yes,
and then you
Devondre.
Devondre Sweat, and then you had my other guy I just mentioned as well, Byron Murphy.
Byron Murphy.
I feel
Mhm.
like you had those two guys. That's a big boy. He's like 346. He's like 350. He's like 360. He's in that range. And
Oh,
you see
geez.
what
Okay.
he can really anchor. He's like 6'4". We don't know that the full measurements. We'll get those in the NFL Combine, but from what we're seeing right now, those are the measurements. We need a big
Mhm.
guy like that can really just stuff the run. I thought that was the plan for Mozzie. I don't know. Linebacker,
Yeah.
as you said, Star. They got some linebackers in this Senior Bowl that I think would definitely
They
be excited about.
mhm.
Peyton Wilson, there's a lot of people that are talking about him. Um,
Peyton Wilson.
Michael Barrett is another linebacker. Tommy Eichenberg. There's a guy from North Carolina in here that people are talking about. I'm going to be pulling these up as I go. But they got a nice little bit of linebackers here in this senior bowl that
Mhm.
you've been talking about. Linebacker,
Yep.
cornerbacks. Hurt is very deep in here. Got a good set of cornerbacks. I like a
Mhm.
cornerback in this draft in that top five, and
I would
then
too.
I
Mhm.
like the receiver, like you said, Star. We need a guy who's trending up because, as I see it, I like Jalen Tolbert, but I just don't think he's.
Right. I
I
don't
just
think. Yeah, I don't think Jalen Tolbert is gonna be. I think he's gonna be a complimentary guy,
yeah
more so like a Michael Gallup.
yeah
I want somebody to come in here like a Zay Flowers. I
yeah.
need I need
Oh,
another playmaker here on this
need a dog.
offense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, I need it.
They got a receiver in here, and I'm gonna mention. I'm gonna show this right now since I've been talking about it. This is Jim Nagy over the Super Bowl. Y'all listen to him and see what he has to say about the offensive lineman, defensive lineman, and receivers, and some cornerbacks in this couple-minute clip. I'm about to pull that up. It's real good, real good. There it is right here. There it is right here.
Juniors like Jackson Powers Johnson from Oregon at center. Kingsley, the left tackle from BYU. Until Kingsley gets down here, I'll refrain from butchering his name. But those are two big juniors on the offensive line. Those are big ones. Like Tyler Guyton from Oklahoma, Jordan Morgan from Arizona. I mean, on and on and on. It's a great group. So if you need offensive line help, whether it be on the interior at tackle, it's going to be a good evaluated week.
What about on the flip side? How does the defensive line look this year compared to, I guess, previous years?
The interior defensive line, I mean, it's not the deepest group overall for the draft, but it is pretty deep for the Senior Bowl. We really cleaned up when it came to this year's inside group. So, for a lot of the viewers that got to watch Texas through the playoff and through their run, the two guys inside, Byron Murphy and Tavondre Sweat, will be here. Those are two big ones. And then there's some guys that maybe aren't talked about as much. McKinley Jackson at Texas A&M is a big, explosive, talented guy that maybe will show better here than he did at Texas A&M because we're gonna use him a little differently. Braden Fiskey from Florida State was a Western Michigan transfer, played incredible for Florida State this year. Really disruptive, active player that kind of creates for guys, or he creates havoc so other guys make plays around him. Really high motor guy, can run. Michael Hall Jr. is a guy at Ohio State. Depending on what games you put in on that Ohio State defense, he's the best player on the defense. He's a really talented guy, so we're excited to get him down here. He's a guy that could really make a name for himself in the one-on-ones. He's going to be hard to handle. So I like that group as well. I mean, the O-line, D-line one-on-ones are always kind of, what a lot of people point to in the media and the fans that come down here. This year should be some great battles.
So where would you say is the depth this year? Like which position group would that be for this year?
Well, we've talked about a couple of them: quarterback and offensive line. Definitely, I think it's a deeper cornerback class than a lot of people will want to give it credit for. There's not there's probably not any guys in that top 15 range, like lock top 15 right now. But there's some really good depth through like that second through fifth round. You're going to get some starters in that fourth round, fifth round area. Like Jacorian Bennett from our game last year that, the Raiders took in the 4th round and started. I think he started every game for him for the Raiders this year. So I do like the depth of that class. So that's an area that you're not hearing a lot of people talk about right now.
It does sound like there's a bit of a deeper nickel class this year. Is that true?
Definitely. Yeah. A lot of nickel bodies in our group too. I mean, we've been bigger in the past. I don't know if that's because of my Seahawks subconscious, slant towards the bigger, longer corners. But we've got a lot of good nickel guys in this year's game. So it'll be good. There's a nice mix there, and some nickels that can also play safety, and that's a position a lot of teams are looking to fill, that nickel free position. We've got a few guys that can do that as well.
The track record of wide receivers
Here we
at the
go.
Senior Bowl has been really, really good. And last year, I mean, it's amazing to look back at it, but Puka Nacua, who was outstanding.
And they had a
this year,
lot of
Tank
receivers
Dell,
star last year.
Jaden Reed has been
Yep.
really good for the Packers. Who should we be looking out for this year in Mobile?
Yeah, you don't leave out Rashee Rice either.
There's a lot of guys.
I'll tell you what, man, it was fun sitting around watching the playoffs and watching, Puka and Rashee do their thing. I really like this group from top to bottom. There's some really good ones. Xavier Leggett from South Carolina is a guy that I think right now you might see some of these junior wideout names above Xavier Leggett.
This is the one they're really talking about, Star. I want to watch him.
A bunch of juniors that are being talked
6'3", 228 pounds.
I did the podcast with Daniel Jeremiah and Bucky Brooks and Rhett. We did our Senior Bowl roster reveal show on the NFL Network a couple weeks ago. And Daniel Jeremiah said he thinks Devontae Walker from North Carolina will kind of be the big mover in our week, and he thinks he could get into the first round. And I would echo that. His season was cut short. He didn't get going until around mid-year. He had that NCAA, transfer thing going on. But when they finally cleared him, man, he was Drake May's guy, and he's just a really smooth, deceptively fast guy that can get deep. And he's going to be on that team with Michael Penix Jr. and Bo Nix. So you're going to be able to see those guys take some deep shots. It's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, man. So that's exciting right there, just to hear that, because I heard about the Leggett kid. Things about him: great size, good speed, doggish, attitude, great numbers. So, and I've been hearing, a lot about this receiver class. So, to your point, Star, we definitely got to get a receiver out here because, like you said, I feel like Jalen Tolbert, and watching him this past season, I like how he stepped up. But he's third rounder, and maybe you're more robotic to me. You're more stiffy to me. And I feel like if a really good corner jumped on you, if you were our second receiver, and if a really good corner jumped on you, I think he could get at you. So I'm more the complimentary guy, the guy that, you remember the Cedric Wilson guy.
The Cedric Wilson. Think of Michael Gallup, prime Michael Gallup. Yeah.
You feel me? You're the Cedric Wilson guy to me now. So that's what I see of you after this year. So yes, to your point, Star, you keep a Brandon Cooks, but you need a dog now opposite of CeeDee Lamb. So you have doggish receivers across the board.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think, and we have guys. We have Jalen Brooks, who kind of showed us something, during, with his limited snaps, but we don't know. I mean, I'd much rather.
We need somebody who we know. He's an unknown.
Right.
We need somebody who we know. We need somebody who when you drafting him, he's a dog. He's coming in right away. He will be in the lineup. He will be in the lineup right away. He will be playing it right away. This isn't going to be let's see how what looks in practice. No, you need to get a guy. If you're going to get a receiver that's going to come in and really come into play. You don't need the developmental. This is what I said about our draft this year. If we're talking about this difference, which I ain't going to get into that, but if you're talking about the draft side of it, you need impact players. You don't need development. This can't be no developmental draft. I looked at the last few drafts. The draft was pretty good last year, but a lot of them have been okay. We need a hit-on draft, and you need at least – you lost your fourth-round pick. You need guys that these top 3 picks that you have be coming in and starting.
Yep. I think absolutely, because last year, we more so drafted – we drafted a lot of back – half of our rookie class was not even active. And we can't have that. And then you got our number 1 pick dropping down to 290 pounds.
That's crazy.
It was just
crazy.
I don't understand it. It was our draft class was just not it. This was probably the worst draft class we've had in a while. It just we're talking about immediate impact.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm not saying that these guys are bust. It's too early to say these guys are bust, but when we needed, if we had had any of those come in and be immediate impact, that would have been great. And I think the only player that was active every game that played was our second round pick, Luke Schoonmaker. And that was just on the blocking side of the ball. We used him a lot in a lot of blocking sets, used him as like a 6 offensive lineman and stuff like that. But that's definitely not gonna cut it. You see these teams in the Final Four. Look at the Lions rookie class. Jameer Gibbs, Jack Campbell, Brian Branch. You look at the Ravens.
And we should,
Zay
and you know who, and
Flowers.
we should have took. I wanted Jameson Williams. That's who I wanted in the draft. Who they have over there. That's a difference maker over there. We
Yeah,
could have had
Jameson
him,
Williams.
Star. We didn't
Yeah.
pick him up. We could have had him. Could you imagine him paired with CeeDee Lamb? Hit dog. What?
And Jameson Williams is not even, he's not even the main guy over there.
Right.
Jameson Williams over here would probably been like a number 2. That's a tall, deep threat. When he came out, I think he came out in 22 draft. I think, yeah, he came out in 22 draft. But I definitely had him like top of my list. And I just think we need some dogs, some playmakers, and I think this draft definitely has that on both sides of the ball. We need some guys with some attitude. Because the guys we got now is just like, we got some dogs here or there, but I would like to add some different personalities to this room that these kids want to play, so that's why I'm like, we really got to look at these kids, their mental, and do you really love football? I'm tired because I don't know if Dan Quinn's coming back, but I feel like Dan Quinn is such a guy that he just drafts traits. And I hate that. Like, I hate that he just drafts. He drafts by measurables and not by, can these kids play or not? You take someone like Sam Williams, who he was obsessed with, and not saying Sam Williams is definitely not a bust. The kid's talented, but when it comes to the mental side, I mean, so hurting us more than he's helping us.
Second round pick, eight sacks in 2 years, and you're a second round pick. I'm not saying you're a bust either, but buddy, you really need to step it up right now. This is your third year. There ain't no excuses for it. You get what I'm saying? I mean, these players, they play, we don't. I get it. They know more than us. I get that. But at the end of the day, if you're drafted in the second round, I'm going by just you're drafted in the second round. There's a certain expectation. Okay, so I don't know what happens with the coaching or whatever. I've heard stories, but my thing is, you have this talent. But the thing to me is, Star, red flags are real. You just seen the receiver get caught up. Well, Keontae, whatever his name, get caught up with the
Booty,
yeah. And there were flags there. There were flags with Kelvin Joseph. I said, that's why I didn't want to draft him. Flags.
Flags.
I said, go with Asante Samuel. I know he's smaller, but he don't got the flags. He's got those bloodlines and genes. That's going to be something that you need. He don't have that. That was a mistake. Sam Williams, I did a video on him. He had flags. He had flags in college, and it was those type of flags that are showing in the NFL. Those same things he had in college, he's doing those same things in NFL. So he's got to step up. He's got to be better. But the problem is, to me, what this is too, Star, you say, we need dogs. We need to get some more dogs. We need to get some more energy in here, some young players like that. I agree. But here's my problem, and I'm going to ask you this. We say that, but it seems that when they come to the Cowboys, when they go to the Ravens, they let the dog out.
They remain dogs, right?
They remain dogs. Okay? Roquan Smith, who left the Bears, was a dog. He went to the Ravens, and he's still a dog. Okay,
that's right.
Because they allow him to be the dog that he was in Chicago. They allow him to be that same dog in Baltimore. The problem is with Dallas, if you was a dog somewhere else, you're not going to have that doggish spirit here in Dallas because that's not what that's not what they want you to rep here. So it's in a controlled environment, how we want it. And that is the issue with when we're talking about we want to get players that have that doggish attitude, because when they come to us, it gets taken away.
Right. And I agree with that, but you got to have players that can transcend that. And the problem is sometimes we have players that can transcend the Hollywood and they can still have that dog mentality inside of it. You look at somebody like Jake Ferguson, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
these are you look at someone like Jake Ferguson.
Facts.
You look at somebody like Dono, when he's healthy. Like this is still a certified dog, and he been here. I don't forgot when we drafted Dono, but we drafted him a couple of drafts back out of A&M. So
Right.
it's like that's why it's so important for when these kids come to Dallas. Tyler Smith, think about
Yeah.
Tyler Smith. Like when
I
these
will
kids
agree
come
with
to
that. I will
yeah,
even
when
say
they
Demarion Overshown, even though we haven't seen him
yep,
with the injury, the
yep,
spirit was there, the attitude was there. I think
yep,
that's what we really missed. That's what I missed, not to cut you off, Star, but that's what I think I missed, because you had that when you're talking about that spirit, he had that spirit. And I think that's what I missed most on this
yep,
defense was his
yep.
spirit.
With that spirit.
He had that energetic spirit where you just
He
everybody
was flying around. I mean,
flying around and
he was jumping off the
he's
screen. Yeah,
jumping out the screen, he's yelling, he's hollering, he's screaming, he's in people's faces, he's like, let's go. That
that's
is
what we need.
that's what people that's contagious. That's
It is.
what brings the
It is.
defense up. And we didn't have that.
We didn't have that this year. We
And if
did
I
not
don't care if
have
he was
the.
a rookie, he was leading the opening of games.
Yep.
So
Yep.
obviously they were thinking something of him if they were letting him lead the huddle already.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He was gonna. Dan Quinn had big plans for him. He was gonna come in here. He was gonna be in the starting lineup, for sure. And that's what we need because we're missing. When you talk about the quarterback of our defense, the quarterback of our defense this year was Jay Curse. Is that the guy that should be the quarterback? No, and no offense to Jay Curse, I appreciate everything he's given Dallas, but when you talk about his play this year, that's not the guy. And it's not about him being a safety because I think Mika Fitzpatrick is the quarterback of their defense at Steelers over there in Steelers land, but that's Minka Fitzpatrick. You know what I'm saying? Like when you have the
He's a
quarterback of your defense,
baller. You
you
feel
need
me?
a dog. You need a baller, and that's what we were missing. We were missing somebody on that second and third level that was dogs and ballers. Our defensive line. I would say all of those guys are dogs. You know what I'm saying? You got D-Law, you got Oso Digizua, you got Michael Parsons, you got these guys that these are physical, and these guys are top of their class in the NFL. So, but they can't do everything. You need those linebackers, you need those enforcers, and you need those guys in your safety room. And that we were not good on the second and third level of our defense. And I think that's why you saw, not saying, of course, we had Deron Bland, who's Defensive Player of the Year candidate, stuff like that. But overall, especially at our linebacking core, if you look at all the Final Four teams, they have dogs at linebacker. They got two dogs at linebacker. We did not have that this year. We had a converted safety learning on the job, and then you had Damone Clark, who was just lost the entire season. So if we want to take this defense up to another level, we've got to get some linebackers in here. We may need to get free agent. I think we draft linebackers, but we also go and try to get some linebacker out of free agency because this is also a rich free agency
Pool as
pool
well.
for linebackers too.
Yeah, I mean, I totally feel what you're saying about that, but that remains to be seen. We
Yep,
saw
we'll
them,
see.
go in what we thought was going
Mhm.
all in, but now they've already did the restructure to, I believe, Zach Martin and Trevin Diggs
Yep, they
again.
did the restructure.
They did the restructures to open up money. We know probably few restructures are coming. There might be a few cuts. We'll see how that finagles, but I'm not going to give my hopes up that they're going to go out there and get a quality linebacker that's really going to be a difference maker.
We'll believe it when we see it.
I'll believe that when I see it. So I'm not even going to be excited about that because that's what they don't do. So they show me otherwise. I'm always going to be skeptical. But if we're talking about linebackers, Star, give me a few linebackers that you know that'll be at this Senior Bowl that kind of thinking that you've kind of maybe looked at quickly that might be like, this is the guy that's exciting me.
Yeah, two guys that really caught my eye when I watched their film and kind of, like I said, gave me chills watching their film was Peyton Wilson. And I know he's become, very, very popular. But I mean, this is when you talk about like that crazy maniac linebacker that loves to fly downhill, loves to hit, also has the cerebral side. I mean, he can get your pressures. He can control the middle of the field, hook the flat. He can fly downhill and stop the run. When I watched his film, I said, if we can get this kid, I mean, that would really elevate our linebacker room. Also, so Peyton Wilson, another one, Marius, what's his name from Notre Dame?
It is
Marius
Lafua.
Marius Lafua.
Uh-huh.
Now, when I saw this kid, now that guy, I mean, he's a giant. He looks like the biggest kid on the field, has the range, has that physicality. Now, when we look at his stats, this guy, when you look at his stats, he didn't have like crazy stats or anything like that. But this is a guy that's also like he was the quarterback of the defense for Michigan, which, as y'all know, won the national championship. So I definitely would like to give this guy a look. As you can see, coverage grade, top notch. I forgot how many interceptions. One of these guys had like a lot of interceptions, but I really, really like this. Really, really like this guy. Oh, he didn't have any interceptions, so it was somebody else. But really, really like this kid. Forced fumble, flying around everywhere, clogging up the passing lanes. I'm seeing him fly downhill, and he loves to make hits. And that's what I'm looking for in our linebackers. I really don't. There's another linebacker that I like, but he's more of what we've already got. But I think he would be an upgrade, which is Cedric Gray. Cedric Gray, he's a dog. But what I didn't like from him is that he is a catch tackler, almost like an LVE. That's why I said this is a more of a will linebacker. But I mean, he can cover. This kid can cover. He also, he wants to come down. He wants to stop the run. But as you can see, his run defense not that great because when he comes down, he can miss some tackles because he's arm tackling. So that was my only really knock about Cedric Gray, but I think you can take a look at him because as I said, I do think it's an upgrade over what we currently have at that will linebacker as far as Damone Clark. And, if Marquise Bell stays there, I would like to bring him in as competition. But I'm really looking for linebackers that can be the quarterback of our defense. That's what I'm looking for. A linebackers that bring physicality. I want guys who they run through you when they're tackling. They don't arm tackle. So, but I do like Eric Gray. I almost didn't say. I was like, I don't want him. But then I was like, he's good. He's good. He's just not a middle. He's not a middle linebacker. But he can definitely fly around. He's very cerebral too. He can when it screens and all that stuff. I mean, he's on it. Another guy, Tyron Hopper, is also a guy from Missouri. I didn't see too much film on him, but he definitely when you look at this, when you look at the CBS draft list, they got him listed as I think in the top three draft rounds. So he's definitely a guy as well that you could look at. I think he can also be, PFF got him graded low, but I think he's
don't
also.
Trip on, we don't go on PFF grades.
We
just look at
PFF
numbers.
grades.
Yeah, we don't trip on PFF grades.
PFF grades be tripping, but Tyron Hopper, they have him as rated 96. Cedric Gray rated at 100. And then my guy Maris is right outside of the third round at 119. So these are good. And also Junior Colson. I like Junior Colson a lot. I know I watched him and Barrett. I didn't really like Barrett's film that much,
Mm-hmm.
but I did like Junior Colson because he's another guy that flies around, that's cerebral, and that looks to make hits and runs through you when he's trying to tackle. I don't like the hesitant Harrys. You're waiting for contact. I like guys who fly downhill and get stops in the backfield. So yeah, Junior Colson's another guy that I like a lot. So
And
those would be my guys. Mm-hmm.
and I like that list. And the good thing about this is all these guys are going to be here. It's going to be exciting to see them. And this is
Mm-hmm.
a plethora of linebackers, and we can get any of these linebackers within these
Yep.
first 4 rounds. Like
Absolutely.
you can
Absolutely.
absolutely get them. So you really have to take your time, really, do the scouting report, really take your time because we need to get a linebacker within these first 3 rounds. But you got to make a right decision because we were excited about, when I go back to Star, we were excited about Jabril Cox. We were excited
Yep.
about Damone Clark. And
Yeah, we're
now, guess what? Now we're talking about these guys ain't even doing nothing for us. Like Jabril
they're
Cox
not
ain't even
it.
with the team. Damone
Right.
Clark is nothing. Well, no, we're not going to
Major.
say that. We're just saying he was out of position. And he's not the guy that they were trying to put him in the position. You got to put
Right.
him in a better position
In a
because
better
that's not
position.
him. So to your point, we need those type of impact linebackers that are come downhill, make those tackles in the hole because that's what we've been missing. We've been missing the Sean Lee type of linebacker
Yes.
because we've been having the LVEs and the Damone Clarks, and we've been having finesse. We need guys that are in that film room, knowing what's going on. When I see these linebackers from these other teams, right? Not only are
Mm-hmm.
they aggressive and physical, I'm not saying our guys aren't in the playbook, but something is going on where you guys keep getting caught up on these blocks all the
Yeah.
time. You're not meeting the guys in the hole. You're not shooting the gaps.
Right.
You're not beating the guys at the spot. You're letting guys get their hands on you, move you out the play. They're cutting back off of you.
Yeah, we
Those are the
just can't
type of
have that.
we
Yeah.
can't have that. And those are backbreakers, especially when we
Yeah.
always struggled on the defensive side in the run game. And
Yep.
that is one of the reasons our linebackers, because it kind of is going each level. We got players, but then that's why I said we got to get another big guy in there, Star. Because
Yep.
if you're putting linebackers out there that ain't being physical, then well, damn, you better get some bigger boys in the middle, then, right? That would only
Right.
make sense to me because if
Yeah.
you're going with that fast, athletic line, then you got to have linebackers that are coming in there quickly because if they're
Right.
not, they're getting peeled.
Exactly. And I think every single one of the linebackers that I named, these are guys that can also shed blocks. That's a huge thing for me when I'm looking at my linebackers, like a middle linebacker, Sam, a strong side linebacker. You want guys that can get off blocks. If I'm seeing you, one reason why I didn't really like Michael Barrett's film a lot is because I was seeing him get wiped out. I was seeing him hesitating. And I don't want that. We already got that on this team. I don't want guys who hesitate. I don't want guys who can't get
We
off
got too much
blocks.
finesse already. We got too much
Yeah,
finesse
we
already.
need
We need physical.
physical. We need physical guys.
I
Period.
mean,
We need it. It's a mentality. We need guys with that mentality who want to come downhill and hit. That's what we need.
and that's the frustrating part about the Devin Harper, because you had a guy who was a physical guy, and it's just you had him on the roster
And he was
last year.
fast. He was a 4-4
4-4
guy. Like
guy. He was a physical guy. We saw his physicality. We thought he did really good. A lot of us thought he did really good in the preseason. That's why you really kept him. We thought because of how he played in the preseason, he was meeting people in the hole. He's being physical in the hole, especially after you lost to Marion Overshawn. You're thinking definitely keep him because we need somebody who's physical and he's young. This is a guy you can develop. You got him in a late round. You can develop him. He's not going to cost money. Isn't that what you want, Stephen Jones? But, at the end of the day, it can't be developmental here. It needs impact. And that's what, like you said, we need impact guys. Now, what's another position besides the linebacker at this Senior Bowl that you kind of kept your eyes on as well?
Yeah, another position that I looked at was the cornerbacks that are going to be at the Senior Bowl. So, number one, Kalen King. If we can take Kalen King, and CBS got him at 23, I think we pick at 25. Now, he'll probably be picked because, this guy is probably the cream of the crop when you talk about quarterback play. This is a
Mhm.
guy, a boundary guy, good measurables, good speed, good ball skills, flying downhill, making tackles. Like
Mhm.
this is a guy that if I will not be mad at all if they pick him up 24 because I think people are not recognizing that we are going to need cornerbacks next year.
Mhm.
We're going to need cornerbacks. Trevon Diggs is coming back off an injury. He's not going to be right till 2025. Probably getting rid of Jordan Lewis. You got Deron Bland, but I would like to be able to put Deron Bland back in the slot, and then maybe you get maybe you keep Stephon Gilmore. But even so, Stephon Gilmore's aging. He'll be 33. We already saw his, he's aging. You could already, see
You
his
saw
age
it.
this. You already see his age this year. So, and I know we got Eric Scott, but he wasn't active at all. So we don't even know what he's about.
Mhm.
So if we can get Kalen King, absolutely. I
Remember
would
when we
be
used to have all that cornerback depth, and look how quick it goes. It went from one. Remember we had a plethora. We like, what cornerback we gonna cut? We got too many corners. Now look, we ain't got nothing. What's
right
up
now.
with now? You mentioned those guys, right? You
Mm-hmm,
mentioned Trevin Diggs.
mm-hmm.
You mentioned Bland. What's the plan in your opinion with Izzy? Is Nashawn right? Are those guys cut, or what is there a plan for them in your
I
opinion?
mean,
Do you
this
want
is
them in your opinion?
I want Izzy. Nashawn Wright, I don't know why he's still on the team. And it's no
Mhm.
offense, but Nashawn Wright is not a guy. He is too slow. He is too stiff in the hips. He's not a guy that you want in your starting lineup. He's just not. He'll be going on his fourth year. He still is not in the starting lineup. And like if you're not in the starting lineup by your fourth year, they need to go ahead and release him and get somebody else. Now I want Izzy McQuamu. I think I was struggling to say safety may be a position, but I'm like, no, we got Izzy McQuamu. We got Marquise Bell, who we could put back to safety. We got Wanye Thomas. The question is, are we going to play these guys? Because Izzy, you know, I don't know. I
Do you
guess
think
he's in the
Curse comes
dog.
back? Do you think Curse comes back this year?
No,
Okay.
no, Curse is not going to be back, and he definitely not going to be back. But he was the one safety that we did not sign. That he did his farewell tour. He's gone. So I definitely think it's time to give these young guys a shot. I don't know why Izzy was in the doghouse. I know Law said allegedly he said something to his position coach, but I was like, should that have gotten him benched the whole season?
That's
I mean that
crazy.
that's
Like, what did
that's
you say?
crazy.
Like, if you said
Exactly.
something,
Like what the hell
what
did
did
he
you
say that was
say?
so
That's
bad?
crazy because
Because
that
I
was a
mean,
talent because we were all excited from the end of last year. We saw him playing, then we saw it to him at the beginning of the season in the preseason, picking off passes, being everywhere, and we're like, okay, we like that. We
like
this
Izzy is
he,
a dog.
he's
So
building right back on it again, and then boom,
yeah,
he's gone. And especially when you know you needed that this year. I mean, I
yeah.
know we were Bland, but then we saw that we knew Bland. We know he's a
Mm-hmm.
good corner, but we know the limitations of it, right?
Yeah, we
So
have.
if
Yeah,
you and Dan Quinn knew it too. That's why we saw there was a lot more zone because he was worried about those receivers one on one with his
working
guys.
Bland.
He was
Yeah.
worried about them working Bland. He was worried
Mm-hmm.
about them working Gilmore. That happened in
Yep.
that game. Okay.
It sure did.
Those receivers are pretty damn good over there in Green
Yep.
Bay. And that's why he did that when everybody's like, why'd he go to man? Well, damn. I mean, he saw that, hey, these boys are going to cook our guys man to man. Jordan Lewis, Stephon Gilmore, Deron Bland, they're all good players. But in that man to man, the way they were doing it, they were going to get exposed.
Right.
And you don't have you have a J-Ron Curse who's not a cover safety. You
Right.
have a Dono who's not that great in coverage. You feel me? Malik Hooker is pretty good, but you
Yeah.
saw all those moving pieces in that secondary. You saw why he kind of did that. Now I'm not
Yep.
giving Dan Quinn just a pass, but you can see why he did that when
Yeah.
your only guy who could really come and match them is hurt.
Yep. Yep. And that's the problem because see our defense significantly regressed when we lost Trey. significantly, and
We
that's
saw how
crazy.
important he was. We saw how important he was.
Yeah, like we dropped off a cliff. So we definitely need guys to come in like Kalen King with the recovery speed. The one reason why I'm hoping Dan Quinn don't come back because this corner's 5'11". We all know he don't like just like he skipped over Asante Samuel Jr. He'll skip over Kalen because Kalen is not 6'2" or 6'3" or whatever. But this guy, Kalen King, is a baller. I will also say I watched a little bit of film on Quinyon Mitchell out of Toledo. Now,
Yeah.
of course, he's at a smaller school, but I did like what I saw from him. They have him listed at 26 on the CBS board. So I liked Quinyon Mitchell. He was also physical, like to come downhill, make some tackles, good pass breakups. I think he had a little bit of interceptions. Chris Abrams, like this guy's good, yeah. But Chris Abrams, Drain, he's a dog, but he's also 5'11", only 178
Hey,
pounds.
but see, here's the thing. Maybe the weight, but I'm gonna tell you right now. I played corner when I played ball. I played receiver and I played corner. And one thing I know is, yes, 6'1", 6'2" corners, dope. But if you can get a guy who's 5'11", about 190 to 200 pounds with really good speed and has a good frame, that's an optimum quarter for you, especially if he's 5'11" with long arms. You're golden. You get a 5'11" guy who has long arms and is probably about 200 pounds and fast. You're golden. So all that 6'1", 6'2". So these heights that you're naming, there's nothing bad with it. We just got to make sure they have long arms, because if they have long arms, that will help them with because Dan Quinn, Chris Richard, they all came from that Seattle, and they all want the same thing. They want guys who are kind of tall, and they want long arm. They want length, because they want those guys to be able to knock those passes down, things of that nature. So as long as their arms are coming the way you said, Star, I'm with it. So forget. I don't care if they're 5'11". I'm with that.
Yeah. So I don't care either. I'm like, if they can play, they can play. I like Chris Abrams Drain. Now, he's 5'11", but 178, so he may have more so of a nickelback frame. But I mean, he played on the boundary in college. I really liked his film as well. I don't know how many. Did he have any interceptions? 12.
He had 4 interceptions this year.
Yeah. So he's a kid. Play the ball. I mean,
better catch him.
But he's always trying to play the ball. Always.
Only a 54 pass rating gets him.
Yep. Like he loved Chris Abrams. He's ranked 45, and then you got Josh Newton. I like Josh Newton a lot, but I do worry about Josh Newton. And there was another corner, probably one of them I named, that they're not too fast. And so I worry about Josh Newton. I think they said that here he in the NFL he's likely to be a nickel corner because he doesn't have that long speed, but he's good in coverage. He also has all these corners that I named have ball skills. So they want to play, they like to play the ball, they like to be physical. Definitely would like to give Josh Newton a look, but as I said, these guys are kind of slow. If you're going to have them like a Bland, reason why Bland suffers on that boundary is because he doesn't have that long speed. He doesn't have that twitchy speed that you need on the boundary, but they are good. They're good laterally. So
that's why they're good zone guys, because they can sit in that zone. They can play in that cover thing. They can
that's what Josh
and
Newton
see it
is.
and break on it.
Right.
And that's what Dan Quinn likes right there.
Exactly. And that's what this kid is. He's more of a zone type of guy. He doesn't really, you don't really want him pressing. Now, Kalen King and Chris Abrams, this is a guy they can press all day long. These are man corners. But Josh Newton, I think maybe even Quinyon probably could do most of both, but I think Josh Newton for sure. He's a zone corner, a nickel corner. You don't really want him pressing it, like I said, because he does not have that long speed. So you got him pressing all day.
To your point, I got him up here, Chad Reuter,
Mhm.
who's writes for the NFL.com.
Uh-huh.
I actually gonna watch some tape on him, and what we're
Mhm.
gonna do from here on out, Star, before the draft is going on, I have that
Mhm.
college all 22. People that you like, we'll bring up the tape. We'll show the
Okay.
tape. So make sure everybody stays tuned for the Big Star Show because we have the tape. So we'll be able to look at these players. Won't have to
Okay.
just talk about them. We'll be able to look at them. So same thing
Yep.
that you kind of been looking at. We'll have the all 22. So we'll be able to see them firsthand and be able to evaluate them. We'll be able to see it. Make sure I'm telling y'all, make sure y'all check out the Big Game James show this week, all week, because I'm going to be interviewing these people and then we're going to throw the tape on next week after that. And
Yep.
it's just going to be a good time. So make sure y'all really tune into it because, as I said before, I'm just keep it real to you. Star believes this a little more than I do. I'm gonna just keep it real. She just does, and I love the way you were going hard for Dak. I
Mhm.
love the way you were going hard for Dak, and the things you were saying. You were making perfect sense, but they ain't doing it. They ain't doing it.
Yep. Yep.
You made perfect sense on the things that you were saying,
Yeah.
but my question is we have these things that we see, and I mean, are they going to be aggressive like that? That's what the hope is, that they'll be aggressive like that and implement those things. And
Yep.
because that's the only thing that's really going to save these Cowboys, that they're going to have to draft these doggish players. They're going to have to play like dogs and rise above the front office and the coaching. I don't know how that's going to happen, but
Yep.
maybe miracles can happen.
And the thing is, we saw discipline on the offensive side of the ball. If we had that type of mentality, that's why I know people are a little bit on the fence. Should we bring, I don't know. I don't want Dan Quinn to leave because we're just going to promote, in-house, and
Yep, they are. Joe Witt's probably
people
going to be the
don't.
guy.
Yeah, Joe Witt, some people don't believe in Joe Witt. They think we need to go out and get Vrabel or whatever. But I was like, this is my issue with Dan Quinn. We've already seen what Dan Quinn's philosophy is. We already know his philosophy. We already know the type of players that he likes. We already know pretty much. Now he may try to switch up his scheme here and there, but at this point, he's pretty much who he is. And I think, if we bring a new person in to have a different set of a vision, I think that can really help and elevate our defense. Because like I said, if you have somebody else to come in here, then they can make those decisions. They don't have a connection if we decide to keep, I know Dorrance Armstrong is a free agent, right? But if he's brought back, they don't have that connection with him. They don't have that connection with Hurst. They don't have that connection with all these players. A new, Joe Witt, he's gonna come. He's been quiet, but he's gonna come in and say, "This guy needs to be started. This guy needs to be started. This guy needs to be started." Everybody said Joe Witt is a no nonsense guy. He's not buddy. He don't care about none of that. He's not a what you call a player's coach. Where he's my uncle. Like they described Dan Quinn. He's my
Nah,
cool
you don't come
uncle
in
and
here and
all
do
that.
the job, you're gonna sit.
Exactly, period. And that's what we need. We need the best players on the field. And we need to make sure these guys are properly coached as well. And we need to have somebody who can challenge Micah, challenge our best players, and bring out the best in them. And right now, I just don't see that. I don't see Dan Quinn doing that. I don't see Dan Quinn pushing back. With Mike McCarthy, he benched Michael Gallup. Mike McCarthy, now even though we didn't agree with it, but when our fullback made that crucial mistake versus Miami, he didn't get the ball again. Like Mike McCarthy, he had been showing he's not loud, rah, but when you see playing time is how you see how he punishes. When Mike McCarthy gave Jalen Tolbert, he was trying to give him that breakout game versus the Panthers, which was it was the Panthers, which was a low stakes game, and he saw Jalen Tolbert couldn't handle it. He reeled him on back and just started letting him play in spots. So I need that from our defensive coordinator. I need them to not, but see, that's the problem with Dan Quinn. These players are already so close to him in his heart. He can't do it. He cannot do it. Micah is going to see Dan Quinn forever as his uncle. his older, his friend. So he can't challenge these players like they need to be challenged. That's the main reason why I don't want Dan Quinn back, because I'm like, he just can't do it. Even if he comes back and we're steady, I still don't think he's gonna get the best from these players, and that's the problem. I think Dan Quinn has peaked. The jig is up. Everybody, the best OCs know how to beat them, and I just think we need to move on. So
But can't
I'm
they?
hoping.
I can play devil advocate and say, haven't the defensive coordinators caught up with Mike McCarthy too? Because every time he plays a good defense, he gets shut down.
I mean, no, you can't say that, because even when he played,
What
if you think
defense?
of all
What good defense that did we destroy this year? Good
now,
defense.
when it comes, you don't destroy good defenses.
Okay,
I would
well,
say
what good defense?
that. Good
What
defense
good
doesn't
defense that we
destroy.
played? Let's say Buffalo. Let's say our losses.
Okay.
Who did we lose to this year? We lost to Philadelphia. We lost to Buffalo. We lost to Miami. We lost to
Right. We lost to Philadelphia. Both times we carved them up
and
offensively.
and we knew their defense. Their defense was
Right.
suspect.
Then with the offense, with
Buffalo's defense was pretty good. Good.
Buffalo's defense, but we have to remember what type of game that was. I think Mike played super, because Mike's issue is, it's not that our offense can't go against these guys, it's that he gets super conservative in big games. And that's the problem. You can't play super conservative. And, when you're facing like Vic Fangio, when we face the Dolphins, right? Beginning of the game, we tearing them up. Then Vic Fangio switched up. Then Mike McCarthy kind of got close to the vest. And that's the problem. If Mike stop getting close to the vest,
But can we believe that story though? Can we believe that you've been coaching 20-some years? You've been here in Dallas. That was the problem with you in Green Bay though. They were saying that in Green Bay. We saw it in Green Bay. When they start getting tight, he would get close to the vest. Even with Green Bay, we saw it.
That's true.
That's what they complained about him in Green Bay. He came over here and he's doing the exact same thing.
They did, and they try to tell us Mike McCarthy. You know how we said Kellen Moore's curls, Mike McCarthy's is slants. So Mike is going to have to, if he's serious that he wants to coach for the Dallas Cowboys long term, like, unless he just don't give an F and he just like, whatever, I'm gonna just do this, get my last check and beat it out. But if he actually cares, he's going to have to. He's already evolved, so I can't say evolved because obviously we evolved from after the bye. But him and Dak have to get on the same page when they're facing these top defenses. And a huge problem is we were not, for last year and this year, we were not able to run on these cover 2 and cover 4 shells to get defenses out of that. And that's how you get defenses out of that. That's another reason why we got to get stronger in the interior. We got to get better running backs with better ball carrier vision, because the running backs that we had wasn't great. You know what I'm saying? They were good, but they weren't great. And everybody was so pissed at Mike, like, well, why don't we go back to the zone, doing zone runs and all of that type of stuff. I think Mike McCarthy and Mike Solari, they switched up our running scheme. They wanted to be how Green Bay was doing, power run, all that type of stuff. They wanted to be that, because when you're facing a team like San Fran, we tried the outside zone. That BS don't work against Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw. They just track it down. Outside zone does not work against those linebackers. So we were trying to develop our offensive line to where we could go through Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw. But unfortunately, we didn't have the interior that could do that. Because every time they did gap run block, it was horrible. It was terrible. They couldn't do it because Tyler Biotish was not strong enough at the anchor. Zach Martin has aged, so he was also getting beat. People was too quick off the ball, getting straight to the backfield. So that was really the issue. So I'm like, if we could fix the interior and get some better running backs, I think that will also be able to help Mike and Dak, because I think Mike gets tense in big moments. Dak will sometimes get tense in big moments, especially if things are not working. Mike, he's going to revert back to slants. that he's going to start pressing because he's like, I need something to happen. And that's the issue. But I'm like, hey, if we had a steady running game like the Final Four teams that we can lean on when we're trying to get in a groove, then that's what's going to change our offense, because we've got the passing, but we've got to develop a running game. And Mike McCarthy, when I went through and looked at his playoff collapses, like everybody talks about 15-1, then they got bounced by the Giants that year. When you look at it, Mike McCarthy was not running the ball in that game. He wasn't running the ball. Then when they were running the ball, then Aaron Rodgers was fumbling, throwing interceptions. The running backs was fumbling. So it's like when you look into the intricacies of that game, Mike McCarthy, he's not a guy that really wants to run the ball. You want to know why? He won the Super Bowl without running the ball. So
yeah, I don't think they had 1,000 yards rusher that year. I think it was the highest rusher was 870 yards.
Yeah, and they had 5 number 1 wide receivers. Like Mike McCarthy, he did all that rah-rah, but he likes to pass the ball. He wants to pass the ball. But if he wants to go further, that's why he wasn't. If you really want to know, why, he had the best passer ever in football history, and he could only get 1 Super Bowl, because when they were facing them top defenses can make your star quarterback, especially if he's like Aaron Rodgers or like a Dak, where it's like they're semi-mobile, but they're not Lamar Jackson. They're not Jalen Hurts. You know what I'm saying? Like when you have those pocket passers, those top defenses know how to shut them down. All they got to do is go into this too high shell, go into cover 4, making them keep throwing in the 7 people. And then that's when you see uncharacteristic, because Aaron Rodgers, just like Dak, they don't turn the ball over. But why is it when they get in the playoffs, Aaron Rodgers got a pick, 2 picks, Dak got a pick, 2 picks? It's because these defenses know how to stop pocket passing quarterbacks. They know what to do. They know how to confuse the pictures on them. You thought it was this, so they doing all their Ringo and all their different calls, and they landing straight into a trap. And so the only way you can counter that is to have a good, solid run game, which we have not really had. We did have one last year, but then we had a coordinator who didn't. We don't scheme. That's another thing. We don't scheme our run game. Dallas
isn't that the issue though? Because I mean,
we don't scheme our run game.
We had running backs, and we had a top rushing league. We had a top rushing tandem in 2022. We had a top rushing tandem in 2021. We still didn't. So when people say, this is all I'm saying, Star, I don't disagree with what you're saying. I totally don't. But when we're saying we need to have a run game, we had a run game. Nothing happened.
Well, that's what I'm saying, Big.
When are we gonna get a coordinator, though, Star? What you're telling me,
and that's what I'm saying. We
don't have a coordinator.
We don't have.
You're saying, Mike, we need to run. He tried to run. Then we went to passing, what he likes to do. So, is it Mike Solari? Is he going to be gone? Because if not, it's still going to be that same thing, Star.
Jeff Blasco. That's the guy. Jeff Blasco was actually our run game coordinator. He was gone half the season. And then when he came back, it's like we're not scheming. If you look at the top 4 teams, the Ravens, the 49ers, the Lions, who else is it? The Chiefs. You have to scheme your running game. You can't just sit here and line up, my guys are going to beat your guys. Like, help your guys out. And that's the issue. Like, if Mike is serious, if he's serious and that he wants to try to get deeper in the playoffs, he's going to have to bring somebody in here that can actually coordinate a run game, because that's not his forte. I don't think that's Schottenheimer's forte either. So we have to bring somebody in here who can actually scheme a running game, because even when we had in 2021, Kellen Moore wasn't running the ball. So he wasn't scheming nothing. 2022, he was doing what Mike told him to, which was we needed to have minimum 30 rusher tips. But we knew what Kellen was doing. He was just running to get it off the call sheet. He wasn't scheming it. And that's the problem. And also, like I said, when we face the 49ers, our run scheme does not work against those linebackers. That's why we switched the run scheme. But then we didn't have the personnel to do that run scheme. So we really got to figure it out, because if we don't figure out our running game this year, I mean, it's going to be the same results. When you get to the playoffs,
it's going to be the same results. Star, I'm sorry to tell you that. I'm sorry to tell you that, Star. It is going to be the same result.
It's gonna be the same results.
I know y'all don't
if
want
we
to
don't get
believe that. I know
serious.
y'all don't want to believe that, but they ain't getting serious, because if they wanted to get serious, they did it. They ain't getting serious. Let's see you get serious. I don't believe you. You're already playing these little games already. If you were serious, you would have signed your quarterback. If you were serious, you would have did all those things. You weren't serious. You played games. That's why you went and got Trey Lance. It's a gameplay.
It's a constant game. And you know what exactly what Big is saying, I agree. Like, listen, we will know what they're doing based on how this offseason goes. Period. You know, if they don't sign Dak, and they do, because now you see these little leaked articles. Oh, we technically don't have to extend him, and his cap hit doesn't have to be $59 million, because we can do some restructure, and then it could only be $22 million will be the cap hit. You know, because that's what our front office does. All they like to do is play. They like to win the Cat Bowl, right? They like to win the contract game. I don't know what it is. It's like, and what has winning the Cat Bowl in the contract game, which they lose the contract game every time they try to play it. But where has that gotten us? Nowhere. So it all comes down to Mike
Steven is not
McCarthy
changing that,
demanding.
though, Star. You should know that Steven has been this way for how long? He's a conservative guy. He's like a miser. He that's what he is. I mean, we can't lie to ourselves anymore. Not saying we lie to ourselves. We know what he is, but we just don't want to believe it, and we want to think something else can happen. This is what I said, Star.
Yep.
I know what I feel in my heart, and I don't say it
Mhm.
because I try to have faith, and because I don't know the future and I can't predict the future. That's why I'm like, I think they can do it.
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
Yep.
I'm just going to stand on what I believe now, and I'm the pessimistic Cowboys fan now. I'm wearing it with pride now, Star. I'm not running away from it. And I'm going to say, Stephen Jones, y'all ain't doing nothing. Y'all ain't doing nothing, because that's why you got Trey Lance. Because if you were doing something, you wouldn't have got him. You got him because you. When I said you brought Trey Lance over, I don't care. I ain't never seen the Dallas Cowboys pick a player, a fourth rounder. As much as they love them damn picks, they gave up a fourth rounder star just to develop him and give him away for picks. When have you ever seen Dallas do that star?
Leverage. It was for leverage. That's the only reason why they got Trey Lance inside the building. It was for leverage.
Cut them games. I don't believe it.
Yeah, and you know, it's just like, listen, the front office, if they, you know, they do the same song and dance and the same BS this offseason, you know, we'll know that Mike McCarthy's not going to be here next year.
Bill Belichick took a year off, Star. Come on.
Yeah.
You think they ain't been talking?
I mean, well, he only interviewed for one job, but he ain't get that one. So
right,
I don't know.
He probably wanted full power, or he probably wanted to bring Josh McDaniels with him, because I was thinking that already.
Yeah, it's the Josh McDaniels.
And they don't want no Josh McDaniels.
That's a thing. I can't get Belichick, because if he wants to bring all those assistants here, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
You don't want nobody wants no Josh Daniels.
Nobody
I don't want Bill Belichick here. I'm gonna keep it real.
I don't either.
These young guys are getting hired. These young minds are getting hired. Yep. This is a lame duck season. I'm not hating on you, McCarthy. I like you as a coach, but let me tell you something, though. I was saying in my heart, let's get McCarthy, because he was always whooping us. Well, we ain't been doing shit, so that's a bad evaluation on me.
Well, Mike McCarthy.
But
he was handicapped. He got that power.
But he was always kicking our butts, though.
Yeah,
and that's
he was
one of the reasons. But see, we
always
choke.
McCarthy.
I know,
Jerry Jones. It's the front office.
But we always choke. So that I'm just saying that was a bad evaluation. Me saying, "Ooh, let's get Mike McCarthy. He always kicking our butts." Well, we always choking, so that ain't no good evaluation. You feel me? I should have took the evaluation from these top teams that was whooping his ass. Although Seattle, I'm gonna give you this, Mike McCarthy, because Seattle, if that dude would have caught that onside kick, they would have won. They would have went to the Super Bowl. So I give them that. I think they could have went to 2014.
They could have won that year. And that was like 2014, I think. What I don't understand is from Mike McCarthy, because based on Brian Brothers, Mike McCarthy don't need the money. His wife is like super duper rich. Like, he does not care about the money. He doesn't need the money. So you say you were here so that you wanted to win. Why would you stay here another year if you're not going to demand that the front office do anything to help you? I just don't get it. Like, if I was Mike McCarthy, I don't need this job. Like, I could take another year
like
off.
to do.
That's what I'm confused. I'm like, I don't know, but it just doesn't make sense to me at all. Like, why would you stay here?
Why are y'all scared of Jerry?
That's what I'm saying. Like, what's the issue? Like, why Mike McCarthy? Like, are you seriously gonna let the front office do the exact same BS that they've been doing just so that they could be put in the media that every time you lose a game they're gonna fire you? Like, I don't that's what I don't get from Mike McCarthy, because like, you don't need this job, Mike. And I do believe that if he leaves here, he will be able to get another head coaching job somewhere else, offensive coordinator. Like, he will be able to do something else. So I don't understand why you would stay here and not have anything change. Same thing, but people talking about Dak needs to take a team-friendly deal. The only way, if I'm Dak, if I'm taking a team-friendly deal, I'm doing exactly like Aaron Rodgers said, and I need the language in my contract.
I'm not taking no team-friendly deal from
the only way,
Joneses. Hell to no. Y'all, the way y'all play, I'm taking all your money.
But that's what I'm saying. The only way I would take a team-friendly deal would be, in my contract, y'all are going to get the players that I named that I think.
Well, you better leave.
So that's what I'm saying. Like,
but they don't do that.
If I was Dak Prescott, I would also. People saying ask for a trade. I would ask for a trade, because
I said
opposite. It's unserious.
Just ask for a trade.
They're unserious. They keep playing. They keep playing in your face. They franchise tagged you twice. Just get out of here.
But I said they didn't believe in him. So I've been saying it for years. They don't believe in him. You just said they franchised him. They franchised him.
And I said,
he's the only other quarterback besides Kirk Cousins be franchised. If they believed in you, why are they franchising you twice?
And I said, and if they still don't believe in Dak Prescott at this time, it is either because, one, they really don't want I'm sorry to say it, people may get mad, but they really don't want a black quarterback to be the head of their franchise. And they really hope that they luck into a Paxton Lynch or whoever, that they can have him be their franchise, because it has to be that. Or, yeah, he is. But that's who they wanted, right? Paxton Lynch and all these guys. And last year was Max Duggan. Remember, they kept, we really like that Max Duggan. And Max Duggan is not even on the chart. He got cut in preseason. You see what I'm talking about? But this is what they do. So it's like, if you don't believe in Dak Prescott right by now, it's either one, because of his skin color, or two, because you refuse to look in the mirror and see that you're the issue and not that. Either way, if I'm Dak, I'm about to have a baby.
I'm gonna say it's more latter. I'm gonna say it's more latter, not because I don't think Jerry be on the good old boy stuff, because I know he does, but I'm gonna say it's the latter, that they don't believe in him. Because if you did, because if you look at the team, how they constructed, they built around Romo, in my opinion. When I seen how Romo got the job, and then I saw how they constructed that offensive line, they got Dez Bryant, they got Romo players, they drafted Ezekiel Elliott for Romo. They didn't draft Ezekiel Elliott for Dak Prescott. They drafted Ezekiel Elliott for Romo. Yep. So they did everything, in my opinion, for Romo. Now I'm not going against what you're saying about the color, but I'm not talking about that in this aspect.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is, y'all did all that building, and what happened? Nothing. I don't really see you really built around Dak like that, because when he had Ezekiel Elliott, you saw in 2017, they took Dez away. They took the receivers away.
They took Dez away. They never made proper replacements for Tyron, knowing that he was going to be out.
Like, so I just feel like they keep him around because Dak can win games for you. And as long as that quarterback can win games for you and keep you relevant and keep you thinking that, hey, we're close, because isn't that what Jerry and them just said? Well, we're close. How are we close? No, we should already been there. How are we close? I thought we got over that.
But see, that's what they want, because the front office,
I know.
They're not serious about winning Super Bowls. They just want to be competitive.
I know.
And so what they do is they use their quarterbacks who are good enough to win us games in the season.
And that's what they're doing.
Right. And then when because honestly, Romo would still be here if he didn't get hurt.
Yeah.
He would still be here if he didn't get hurt. Like the truth is, yeah, they didn't want. It was Jason Garrett who was standing on the table for Dak Prescott. Like, and when you see what Dak has done, they've tried to sabotage him at every turn, and they keep losing that battle. But it's like at this point, if I'm Dak, yes, I understand the dream of wanting to be a Dallas Cowboys quarterback, but
Just go.
this organization is just not serious. It's not serious.
He's not gonna. Sorry,
I
I'm gonna just
want
tell
them
you,
to
Dak
send Dak
Prescott's
and
not gonna win here. He's not. He won't. I'm gonna tell you. That's what I'm telling you right now. He's been here 8 years, and it's not that I don't believe Dak can't win, but you're not gonna win here. So that's why I said do the draft, do a trade. Dak, ask for a trade and see if you control the trade. See what you can do. See what team is out there and see what y'all can do. Because if you really don't want to sign him, Steven, because it costs so damn much, then trade him and do what y'all got to do and just blow it up and figure it out. But y'all don't want to do that because y'all want to keep that money. Y'all want to keep us competitive. Y'all want to keep them in the playoffs, but you want to keep deceiving us like we're right there. Nope. Let's keep it all together because let's go one more run. Next year, one more run. No, it ain't. That's the lame duck year. And then you got Belichick. And then what's going to happen? Oh, Belichick. See, he held out a year. Let's go bring in Belichick because he can bring in the discipline. He can do this. He ain't. Belichick ain't changing nothing here.
It's gonna be the same. That's what I'm saying. Like until fans realize that, like, yeah, we could get rid of. Listen, as I said yesterday, we've gotten rid of players. We've gotten rid of coaches. The only constant, the only thing that remains the same is Jerry and Stephen Jones. So we can trade that. Great. We trade that. We get some other quarterback.
It's going to be the same thing.
It's going to be the exact same thing. Maybe he's good. And they can't evaluate quarterback. They looked into Romo. He was an undrafted free agent. They looked in to Dak because they didn't even want him. They wanted somebody else. They wanted Johnny Manziel or some shit like that. Like, they cannot evaluate quarterback. So we're probably going to most likely be in QB purgatory unless they look into a third one, which I doubt happens. I don't think that's going to happen, but maybe it does. And they look into a good to great quarterback, and it'll be the same stuff. And they'll continue to shop in Marshalls, and they'll continue to not really do anything serious in free agency. They'll continue to not make trades.
And they're going to continue to tell us.
And we'll be on the same, right. And then, like, y'all all hate Dak now. In 5 years, whoever our quarterback is, y'all be saying he just can't get it done. He sucks, and then they'll keep doing the same thing, and they'll keep playing these contract games because that's what we do here. We don't care about winning Super Bowls. We care about staying relevant because the big picture here is the brand. Yep. That's just the reality of the Dallas Cowboys. The big picture here is the brand. But some fans believe if we just change the coach, if we just get this coach, we just get this quarterback, everything will be great. No,
it's not.
No,
and I'm not believing that. No. And I've been not believing that, but I'm going to start saying it loudly. And as I said before, I don't mean to offend anybody. And I'm really going to tell people this is my mantra now. So I'm sorry if you don't like hearing that from me, but I'm going to thwart people when they tell me things that I know ain't true. When people tell me, oh, well, no, we just get these linebackers. Yeah, we could get these linebackers, but show me where we're going to get these linebackers that we're dogs are going to be able to do that here in Dallas because we quelch those things. So I don't want to keep hearing that fake old mantra about that stuff until I see the results of this team being serious with it. They ain't serious. And my coaching, y'all are too scary. And I said this before too, Star. Are y'all so scared of when Jerry's sitting in that damn booth? Are y'all that scared? Because Garrett, McCarthy, Changaley, Wade Phillips, Parcells, all y'all choke when y'all get to these playoffs. Are y'all that scared? Does he scare y'all that much where y'all forget what goes on? Because what happens to y'all when y'all get to these playoffs? Is the pressure that great?
They're terrified of Jerry. It's like they're more scared about getting fired than actually forcing this front office to build a championship team. They're just more scared about getting fired. Like, let's just be real about it. I don't know why they're so terrified. Because if I was Mike McCarthy, I'd be like, fire me right now. I don't care.
Nobody's beating
Like,
the door down to come coach at Dallas. So go out like you
n-
won't.
exactly. Like, I'm like, fire me
Yeah,
right
why
now,
don't you
Jerry.
talk back to him? Talk, Mike McCarthy, talk back. Say something about
Stop
him.
being so scary.
You
Like,
feel
what?
me? Like Jimmy
Where is
Johnson
it
used to
gonna
just be
get
like,
you?
wouldn't give a hell. And I'm not trying to go back there, but what's gonna hurt you, Mike McCarthy? If he said Jerry said he was gonna be this, that ain't what I'm saying. He's not starting. I don't care what Jerry's saying. This is who's starting. Why can't we hear you say that one time in an interview and let's see it? Ooh, what? You talk back to Jerry and Steve?
Exactly.
I would
This
love
is
you
who
do that
will be
one time.
starting. This will who exactly like have some cojones, but they don't have none. They too scary. They let Jerry and Steven. If Jerry and Steven was walking into my game planning meeting, I would literally sit there and be quiet and be like, "And do y'all need something? Like, we're not going to continue this meeting until y'all get out. And if Jerry wants to fire me tomorrow, Jerry, I don't care. I don't care at all. Like, I'm trying to build. If you're serious about winning a Super Bowl,
That's why we don't win, Star, because
everyone's scared.
everybody's scared,
Everybody's scared.
and when we get to those playoff games,
Yep.
I made this video when Mike White said, "I don't want to play Green Bay." In my head, as soon as he said that, I said, "We're playing Green Bay." Facts. I just stayed quiet. I said, "Damn it, damn it, damn it." Then he says, and so then we keep on hearing Star 16-0. It was this setup. It was like, here it comes. Dallas 16. I'm like, oh God, they're talking about it every day. Here it goes. I know my team's gonna choke now.
Yep.
Nope, I'm not gonna believe it. I'm gonna be quiet. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna believe it. I'm gonna have faith that this is the year we're gonna rise above it. This is the conversation I'm having by myself. I'm having by myself meeting, Star. And this is what I'm saying to myself. Okay, nope. This I believe we can do it this time. We can do it this time. Oh my God, stop talking about 16-0. It's gonna get in their heads. It's gonna get in their heads. Stop talking about Jordan Love and these receivers. They're gonna start getting scared. Stop talking about them, please, because we're not gonna be able to do it if you keep pumping them up. And then guess what? We got to that game. I was quiet, Star. Went to my people's house. I was quiet. He said kept on talking to me. I just stayed quiet. I didn't say nothing. I just kept looking at the TV, Star. And when Jay Tuck said, we ain't got no home field advantage because the fans, because they know how the Cowboys are. And what happened when they took that first drive, and I'm going to say it again, when they score 7, I said, oh, yep, see, there it is. We're about to get smacked in the mouth. I said, in my head, we ain't about to just get beat. We about to get smacked.
Well, we should have known when Matt LaFleur said in a playoff game with the youngest team in the playoffs that he wanted to get the ball first. It was quite clear that he was through the roof in confidence that he was about to destroy Dan Quinn, and he did. So this is, it's I don't know. Cowboys fans, we're gonna continue to look into this
Put
draft. We're
pressure
gonna
on
continue
them.
to do
You
stuff.
just got to
But
keep
we have
putting
to
pressure.
we
We
have
got
to
to keep
put
putting that
pressure.
pressure. And this
That's
is
what
the
I
pressure
say.
that we have to put on them now, Star. I know I feel what you say, how you be positive and stuff, but we got to put this kind of pressure. If they're watching these shows, then we need to put this kind of pressure. I'm putting this kind of pressure. If you're going to
That's
watch
what we
my
gotta
show,
do.
if you're going to watch my show, this is the pressure I'm going to put on y'all. I'm not saying F Dallas, but I'm saying, oh, y'all just be lying. Y'all ain't doing this. Y'all just be lying. And that's why I'm glad I didn't go to the game. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to take me and the family down there. I ain't spending no $1,100 for that BS. I don't care if you won 12 games. I know I'm not dissing the players because they go to training camp. They bust their tails. I'm not saying that. But guess what? We know that goofiness that's up there. And as long as that goofiness is going on, and we know it is, it affects this whole damn team, and we just since they're falling short, this team is always going to fall short, and we know real changes, and these ain't real changes. These are the soft changes to shut us the hell up, to get us quiet, to get us back in them seats, to get us talking positive about the Cowboys, to keep pumping it up the way they want. And I ain't going to pump this crap up no more. I can love my team, but I'm not going to fall for this foolishness. I like the Cowboys before the Jones came. I was a Cowboys fan before the Jones was here. So I'm not worshiping the Joneses. So I'm going to go against what they're saying now. I'm just going to go against it because that's what I feel in my heart. And I'm just not going to believe that crap anymore. And I'm going to be on the rampage to say, y'all are some liars. We ain't believing it. You keep fooling all these people. And I'm going to keep saying on my shows all the damn time now. Even when we're doing the draft, I can be happy about their draft, but I'm going to say, oh, y'all pump faking, but I still like this player.
Yep. And I mean, that's exactly what we got to do. That's why I was compelling the fan base on my Ace page and stuff like that. Like, we have to push this front office. We can't, because if they see us falling for the bait that they put out,
they're never going to stop.
They're never going to stop. They're never going to stop if they see the fans falling for the wee woo and the BS that they put out. And we talk about salary cap. Like, we have to put a stop to it, and we put a stop to it by not believing anything they say and continuing to tell them not good enough.
Yes.
We don't care if you sign this wash player off the streets, not good enough.
Yes,
we
that's
don't
what we
care
have to
anymore.
push that.
Like, we don't care.
Do we really want to
go
win? If we really want to win, then we can't fall for this fake ass agenda that they're pushing to us. If we really want to win,
exactly. They go through this off season where it's linebacker rich or free agency who you can get, and you can get a real quarterback of your defense. And we see them, like they always do, let the first 2 rounds of the free agency go by, and then here they go, just pick up some bum off the street and try to sell us, and then we dissect their film. Oh, well, they did have this many tackles, and they did have this, just like Rashaan Evans. They're going to continue to do the same stuff. We have to continuously, as Big Game James does, yawn at everything.
Yes, yawn at everything. When we see the wee woo, don't fall for it. Don't be like, oh, this is kind of, no, it's not. That signing sucks. That's what we have to say.
Exactly. This is trash.
That's trash. I mean, we have to start doing that because Twitter media, they're motivated by the media. That's what their brand.
They are.
They're motivated. They got tons of people in the media. So guess what? That's what I'm doing. I don't know about y'all Cowboys fans out there, but when we see the BS, when we see the trash, we got to call it out right then and there and not falling for it, even though we know it inside.
Like Martavis Bryant.
Yeah, Martavis Bryant. Why'd you sign him? He ain't playing. Start saying that. Jump out there and say it on Twitter. Man, that's a stupid signing. He ain't playing. Why? We got to start doing that. I'm going to start saying that was dumb.
And that's exactly what we got to start doing. Like, we don't care. Because eventually, they end up hiding, but Jerry's gonna show his face once the combine
he gonna get tired
down.
of hearing. Yeah, he gonna start get tired of hearing that noise. You keep on telling him that was stupid. That's dumb.
What we have to do as fans. Like, we don't believe in nothing. Exactly, Dwayne. We have to do more, and that's the problem. That's why they try to divide the fan base, right?
We got to unite and say we ain't falling for it no more. You need real change. It's the same thing. Not in this aspect.
It's like go on strike.
Right. It's just like you standing at the picket line like, no, man, we ain't falling for this no more. We want to raise and we're united. You know what? You got to talk to all the people because some people are going to be like, no, I can't. I got a family. I got to feed my kids or I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I know it's hard, but if you don't band with us, there's not going to be real change. If you are sitting there saying, no, I can't, man. I know, but I can't. That they're never going to change. It's when they change is when everybody unites in one mind and one chord and said, we ain't standing for this no more. And we don't care. And that's when they're like, you know what? All right, what's your demands? Let's sit down and talk and let's meet. That's how they change. But we don't do that. We're still divided. Like you said, Star, there's a whole faction that says Cowboys for life. Don't matter no what. Cowboys for life. No, it can't be Cowboys. No. It's Cowboys for life, but we can't fall for the crap no more.
With the Joneses, we can't. We just can't allow it. This, like I said, this season, it opened up my eyes quite clearly. And I'm never falling for it. I'm never caping for this front office again. I didn't try to cape this year, but I was caping, because I was thinking, oh, they really changed it. They really doing stuff they haven't done in years. I'm done with it. And if they keep doing stupid stuff, I'm going to call it out and say that's stupid.
That's stupid
stuff. Because this team don't want to win for real. And we're going to continue to say they don't want to win for real until we see it. Until we see them doing something of real substance. bringing in real players. Stop playing stupid mind and contract games with our best players. Just cut it out. Like, we're tired of it. Because it's like, you think about this shit, Dak has all the leverage. He can walk out right now and say, I want to trade. These are the teams I want to go to. Dak's gone. Okay. What do you think that leaves you trying to sign CeeDee Lamb? Where do you think that leaves you trying to sign Michael Parsons? Because now they're going to be like, okay, well, we really not trying to win for real. We just threw our quarterback out the window. Now, CeeDee Lamb, like, now I'm going to be getting passes from J.J. McCarthy or whoever, or Trey Lance. So now I need top dollar. If you want me to stay here, now I need absolute top dollar. Michael Parsons, you want me to stay on this non-serious team, I want top dollar. Like, that's how it goes, guys. Like, because look at it, all those players they keep setting the market is because they're in losing organizations. So they say, okay, you want me to stay here? Then you better pay me, because I can go somewhere else where they're really trying to win. So it's just going to be a snow. We'll see how they do with these contracts, because that's going to tell us everything. It's going to be a snowball effect. It's going to be a snowball effect. And we're going to see it all blow up in their faces. And this is the type of shit we're talking about. If we truly care about our team, we got to speak up. If they don't do it, we got to speak up. Like, we have to continue to speak up. We was too happy about that Gilmore and Brandon Cook signing. We was too happy about that. Gilmore was good, but we got him about a year or two too late. He's 33 years old. Like, we should have signed Gilmore when he was turned 28, 29, 30. We get him when he's 32. We got Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks is also, he's not the player that he once was. And we was too happy about that BS.
We take whatever we can get. See, when they throw a little bit of scrap to it, when they throw a little bit of, because they know how they can play us.
Because they play us. They play on our emotions. See, these other teams
go all hard, but see, what they do is they just get skeeving. They just play us with scraps. Ooh, we gave you Gilmore. Oh, we gave you Cooks, and we don't get nothing, right? So it's like we a starving child in the corner.
It's what I say. We're Super Bowl thirsty. So we're like, oh, they did something.
Look, he threw a little bit of food in there.
That's exactly.
That was so good. Can we have some more, Jerry? Please, Steve. Can you give us something else?
And that's all they effing did. That's all they did.
That's all they did.
They gave us two players past their prime, and we were sitting there talking about we got everything we need. Like,
you're right, and I agree with Mark. Content creators build it up as well. I'll be the first. I can say I'm guilty. I had Kool-Aid. I had Kool-Aid. I won't run from it. I had Kool-Aid. I had the big picture Kool-Aid. Boss got the picture Kool-Aid. I will not run away from it. But I will say this. I knew in my heart it could be the other thing, but guess what? This can't fail when you got this, and this. Even with them being goofy, y'all still got to be able to do it. And when you didn't, I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm not falling for that no more. I'm not falling for it. I'm just going to believe what I feel in my heart, and I'm just going to say it, and I'm just going to say it out loud. My channel probably not going to grow no more. It already stopped slow growing. It already started slow growing when I started echoing this stuff, because I don't care. That's fine. Real people sub. If not, this is the mantra I'm staying with until these, and I don't think but I'm staying with this mantra. When I see wee woo, I'm saying it every time.
Yep.
Every time.
I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. You get former greats just not to play them. You got Dante Fowler, former first round pick, just to give him 2 snaps a game. I mean,
like,
it's
what the hell you doing? Like, you're doing dumb shit.
It's just the dumb stuff, and we got Sam Williams. We got.
I want to, like, I'm not trying to cut you off, Star, but can somebody ask him, why aren't you playing Sam Williams? Can you really tell us? Can y'all just tell us? Yeah, man, he being goofy in practice. That's why he's not playing. Stop saying, well, you know, he everything's no. I want to hear you say this mother sucker ain't doing jack poo in practice, so he's sitting.
That's what I'm saying.
Can we get some of that? Can we get some troops here?
That's what I put out a list of questions and tagged all the media. But you see, they don't want to ask them dumb. They don't want to ask real questions.
They
They want to go because they don't want to lose their pass. They don't want to lose their access. So they can go in there instead of doing their real job. They go in there with bullshit questions, and then they also repost and be doing stupid shit. Like instead of asking real questions and putting real pressure on this front office about Dak's extension and CD's extension and Michael's extension and what are we going to do to change? You know what they're doing? Reposted the same goddamn tweet about, oh, now the Eagles got Vic Fangio. Oh, this is Mike McCarthy, Dak Prescott kryptonite. That's what y'all can tweet. I'm tired of it. The media in Dallas is a joke. I'm sorry, but shout out to Brian Broaddus. Shout out to some of them on 105.3 The Fan, because some of them really be with the shit. But I'm sorry, the rest of these guys, they just want their media credentials. They just want to be able to go in there and have their free access to the Star so they can go eat it in the Star and they can do all that stuff because they don't want to be banned because they're not doing they don't want to do their real jobs. But that's okay because that's why we have the content creators. We're not owned. We're independent and we have to speak up because even some of these guys, they're not even real. Some of these beat writers and stuff, they're not real Cowboys fans. They just cover the Cowboys for money. We don't cover the Cowboys for money. We cover the Cowboys because we're real fans and we want to see our team win. That's why we have to speak up. That's why we have to be united as a front and don't start buying into the stupid stuff like Martavis Bryant signings and Rashaan Evans signings and just stuff that's like, this is not what Super Bowl. Did you see any of the other Super Bowl teams pick up Rashaan Evans? Like, just be real. Let's be real. Did you see anybody else?
He sat up for a whole damn year. Look, nobody picked him up all year. And here's the thing. I had to hype it up because I know we have to get hyped over Slim Pickens. Exactly. I wasn't hyped over no Rashaan Evans. But I had to be hyped over Rashaan Evans because we ain't getting nobody else. So that's who I attacked because let me see this guy. Nobody touched this man. After Dallas cut him, nobody still touched this man. He was a first-round pick and ain't played all damn year. But we grabbed him. We were like, ooh.
We got Rashaan Evans, and he had this many tackles. And
he had 159 tackles with Atlanta, but nobody picked him up. He was sitting out all year, but now if he's so damn good, why he's sitting on the couch?
Exactly. We need to start asking ourselves that. Like, you want to go?
You feel me?
Lael Collins. Nobody wanted him. The Bengals cut him.
Damian Wilson. Had to get excited about Damian Wilson. He was sitting on the. You feel me?
Wow. He's on the couch. Nobody wanted him. We was bringing in. Remember last year we bringing in all them quarters we knew was washed. Nobody wanted Xavier Rose.
Wanted Xavier Rose. 35, 30. But we was geeked. That's what.
Oh yeah, he used to. That's what I'm saying, and that's what they do, and we gotta stop it. Like, just stop it. Stop it.
Just say it right then and there, man. That's a terrible signing. He is washed up, and he will not help the team. That's what we need to make the tweet.
Period.
So.
Yeah,
great show, Star. Great show. Great show. You know, like I said, I'm not trying to bring you to the dark side, but we got to be united at this. We got to stop. We know we're not falling for it. We already know it, but we got to just call it out every single time now because if we want real change up in here, we can't keep falling for it. I keep on hearing, well, no, we need solutions. No, we don't. We need a revolt.
I mean, me personally, if somebody would like to schedule it, I'm not above going to the Star and screaming and making signs and saying we need change and getting it on the news.
Yes.
I'm not above it.
I'm not above it either.
I am not of it. We're tired of it as fans.
I really could go there with a sign said, we're tired of it.
We're tired of it. We're tired of this. We're tired of what they do. How many players are we going to allow? Are we going to ruin their careers?
Ruin and wasting these careers of these players.
How many players are we going to do that with?
Because y'all want to play these dumb, stupid games.
Don't give them the ball. Only this player
y'all
can
play these dumb games, man. I'm tired of seeing the freaking Detroit Lions, who we beat, who Dallas
The
beat,
Detroit Lions
are
is in
in
the
the
NFC
NFC
Championship.
Championship game. Dallas, who beat them, they're in the NFC Championship game and they were 0-16 just how long ago?
2 years ago.
And
2
now
years
they're
ago.
right back. And now they're back. Now they're in the NFC Championship when they were 0-16. And
They were 0-16. Literally
yeah, so
literally 2021.
you keep
Won like 6
the
games
Bengals.
last
These teams come out of nowhere. Jacksonville Jaguars. These teams
out
have
of
been.
nowhere.
They take the Houston Texans.
Texans.
Worst
Like,
the
be
first.
for real. Be for real, Jerry. See, but we're so
Y'all don't keep seeing this stuff,
it's
and
trash.
y'all just want to
Like,
keep on staying where you're at, and you see these
we're
teams come out of
not.
nowhere.
This is
I'm
not a
not
Super
falling for
Bowl.
it.
This is
I'm
not a Super
revolting.
Bowl
No,
organization. This is
not a Super
not.
Bowl organization. Y'all
It's
liars.
not.
You're liars. You're lying to us, and I, for one, ain't standing for it. So I'm leading the charge.
Yep.
All right.
And I'm gonna be right there with you. But anyway,
I appreciate you, dog. I appreciate my dog Star. Let them know where they can find you at.
Yeah. Thank you guys for rocking with us tonight. You can find me on Twitter at the Stargazer. But instead of a E in Gazer, it's a 3 and then 2 R's at the end. You can find me on Facebook at Stargazer Sports Media. You can find me on Instagram at Stargazer_sports. And you can find me on TikTok at Stargazer.sports. And then if you guys would be so kind, if you want to help my channel grow, you can donate to my Cash App, which is there on the screen at $Stargazer Sports. So thank you guys. Please like and share this content. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Stargazer Sports, if you haven't already. And this is I'm sorry guys, but this is what I'm gonna be on. It's like we've got to be real with ourselves. We cannot get caught up in the mirage of wins like we always do.
Yeah, we can't be caught up in it, fella. Fans, listen to Star. I'm gonna go ahead and take that floor on that.
Yeah, I just we can't keep getting caught up, guys. It's been the same song and dance for the past 18 years. It's been the same song and dance. We keep getting these Hall of Fame. We've had Hall of Famers over the past 18 years. And it hadn't gotten us nowhere because you know why? They don't want to build a team. We have the stars and the superstars, but we don't have the support. We don't have the support. So every time we get into these big games, we're outnumbered because these other teams, they have the stars, but they also have the supporting cast. We have to put the pressure on. And then on top of this, another thing, let our coaches coach. Our coaches can't coach because they're going into game plan meetings and they're telling them who needs to play. They're telling them this player needs to start. They're telling them don't give him too many snaps because he's got a contract coming up. We're tired of this shit. We're sabotaging our own selves. The front office has been sabotaging us for the past 29 years, but I'm saying 18 because we had Romo, who we could have built a team around and won a Super Bowl. We have Dak Prescott, who you can build a team around and win a Super Bowl. And now we about to do the same dumbass shit of let's push out our MVP all-pro quarterback. Let's push him, get rid of him. Let's get rid of his ass. Okay. And then what? And then it'll be the same freaking song and dance. But as long as fans continue to be divided, because we all know you can't go nowhere without a quarterback. You just can't. You have to have a foundation. Look how long. Look, y'all want to talk about something? Everybody admires him, Kyle Shanahan. But look why they keep in the NFC Championship every year. And they go to the Super Bowl, but they can't win it all. Want to know why? Because they ain't got a freaking quarterback. That's just the truth. They don't have the quarterback. And Kyle Shanahan thinks I can just keep getting these mid-tier quarterbacks and I can win it all. And it ain't happening. It ain't happening. I don't believe the 49ers go win this year because Brock Purdy is at the helm and he's been exposed. He's been exposed. They may get to the Super Bowl.
I need them Lions to beat him. I need them Lions to beat them. Just expose him some more.
That's what
I ain't
like,
no Brock Purdy hater, but you is just average, bro.
You're not
I'm not
good.
believing that. I'm not believing that, bro.
He's not good.
You good
Jimmy
on you good on.
wasn't good.
I've played sports too long, dog. Y'all not fooling me, players, just because y'all played in the NFL and I didn't. Brock Purdy is good, but you put him somewhere else. I play sports with dogs, not so much on the football field because I didn't play on that high a level, but I damn sure was a hooper, and I played with dogs. And it's the same thing when when a dog is playing on the team, and when he good, but that squad is good. You know that.
Exactly.
You can know. I know when I see a player like, he good, but it's that because his team good. Take him and put him somewhere else, and you'll see. That's what Brock Purdy reminds me of. So I ain't hating on you, Purdy, but you ain't getting that love like you some damn MVP. And
exactly,
no, bruh, you was the last pick in the draft for a reason.
Period.
You ain't fooling nobody.
It's the same. You need a quarterback. So you have the cornerstone. Then you got CeeDee Lamb, you got Trayvon Diggs, and you got DeRon Bland, and you got Michael Parsons, you got D-Law. But you need the right supporting class. We also have missing pieces on our defense that we knew we was missing all offseason, but we didn't say that because we just thought, okay, well, maybe Dan Quinn will fix it, and he usually does good at play. That's all BS. Look at what the other teams are doing. And I was stupid too, because at a trade deadline, like, y'all overreacting. It's not a big deal. It was a big deal, because when you're trying to win, you get the best players you can to win. Period. Look what the Lions did. They got Sam Laporta, and they said, you know what? Let's just go ahead and get Zach Ertz.
Just in case.
Just in case. You have to, if you want to win, you got to get better and better and better and better and better.
Look what
you
them
can't
Niners
just say,
did. Look what them Niners did. They went and got Chase Young.
Randy Gregory.
They said, we ain't taking no chances. We ain't taking no chances. We trying to get to the chip. Tomorrow's not promised. That's the problem. That's the problem. Dallas looks in the future. Dallas is always looking in the future. They ain't looking in the now. They're always looking in the future. Listen to Stephen Jones. He's always talking about future. Well, ahead. We love our guys that got headed. No, it's now. They don't think in the now, because if they thought in the now, they would make more power moves. They don't. They're always thinking in the future.
And that shows you that they're just trying to stay relevant.
Yeah,
they're just trying to stay relevant. They're not trying to win for real. And then this is nothing. You want to be a draft and develop team, but you don't even let your coaches coach. You don't even let your coaches control who plays on the field. But you want to be a draft and develop.
Well, your GM is 81 star. People got mad at me and said I was doing age hate. Your GM is 81 star. Your GM is 81. That's all. Your GM is 81.
81 years old. Everything that they've been selling us is a bunch of BS.
Because McClay ain't the GM. Because, like I said, McClay can't pick up the phone and say, I want that guy.
He can't do it. He's got to run it through Steven. He's got to run it through Jerry.
When they keep on talking about Will McClay, well, he ain't the title of the GM, but he really GM.
He ain't. No, he's not.
You the GM when you can pick up that damn phone and say, let's make it happen. You ain't that GM. It's Jerry. You can say, we like this guy. What's up, Jerry? We'll be all right. Dan can make it happen. Steven, I don't really want to do that. We got to sign these 3 dudes next year, so we can't do that. Tell Dan Quinn to make it work. Tell Quinn to make it work what he got, because I can't spend that money, because they talking about this money and I can't do it. I'm not saying that is, but it feels so much like that's the conversation.
That's exactly what the conversation is, because he does not have the authority. And as long as it stays like this, as long as the front office continues to be able to slip by and not be held accountable, cut corner. This is the type of stuff that's going to keep happening. You don't hear salary cap talk by any other fan base and owner. You don't hear that type of talk. When a team wants to sign a player, they sign them, and when they don't want to sign them, they don't sign them. What we did about Amari Cooper was a disgrace. And then we got Stephen Jones talking about, well, if we had Amari here, we wouldn't have been able to sign Gallup. Do you know how dumb that sounds? You know how stupid that sounds?
Yeah, because they know they could get away with
intentionally making your team worse. They intentionally made their team worse. Like, this is the type of BS that they do, and then we have Cowboys fans. Get over it. Get
Yeah.
over. Are we
Get a
still
new
talking
team.
about this?
Get a new
Get
team.
over.
Why are you complaining? Get a new team.
Stupid.
They got
As
them
long
with
as
the
we
good old
keep
boy
doing
thoughts.
it,
Got them
they
with
go
them good old
continue.
boy thoughts.
Yeah.
Y'all fighting for Jerry when y'all say that. Y'all tell me to get my own team. Y'all siding with Jerry with the good old boy thoughts. That's what I'm telling you.
But
Yeah.
it's sad. But as Cowboy fans, we gotta stand up. We gotta stop falling for it.
We gotta
Stop
fight the
falling for
power.
it.
We gotta fight the power.
Fight the power so that change can come. Change won't come until everybody's talking about. It's not about boycotting because everybody. Well, we can't boycott because they got. It's not about boycotting. It's about putting the pressure.
Pressure.
Putting the pressure. Right.
Use
Look at
your
the
voice.
civil.
Keep
You.
going on social media. Keep going on Facebook. Keep
Yep.
going on there saying, nah, that ain't right.
Keep tagging the Dallas
Keep
Cowboys.
keep telling that.
Tagging the
Nah,
beat
y'all ain't
writers
serious.
saying ask these
Yeah,
questions. They're not
you ain't
serious.
serious. Y'all ain't serious. Keep saying that to them. Put the pressure. That's how we
Put the
do it.
pressure on
That's
them.
how we'll make change, y'all.
That's
That's
how
how we'll
change
make
comes.
real change. If we keep going out there, going on the Twitter handles, going on the media saying, no, we want real change. We want you to step back. We want real change with this organization. We're tired of the fakeness. We're tired of your lies. We're tired of your deceit. We're tired of you cutting corners. We're tired of you playing with our emotions, acting like you're doing everything you can, and you're not. And you're just deceiving us Cowboys fans. And Cowboys fans do deserve better because you went from 500 million to 9 billion. So that says Cowboys fans put their heart into you because you wouldn't have had that jump in money. So Cowboys fans are faithful.
Yep.
When you gonna be faithful to Cowboys fans?
Exactly. When are y'all gonna be fair? When are y'all gonna help us? Jerry, stop lying. Oh, if I had, I would just pay any amount of money to get Super Bowl. Stop lying, Jerry.
Stop lying. I don't want to hear you ever say that again, Jerry. I'll do anything for a Super Bowl. No, you don't.
I'm tired of the lies. And it's like 105.3 the fan. That's good. Y'all can all go off about Jerry when he not on the phone, but he calls
when he
into the
calls, y'all get,
shows.
and when he calls
And
in
y'all
that
not
show, y'all get in attention. Y'all get in line. Because I remember when he checked you, when he was like, get your damn act together. Now you gonna watch what you say to me. Huh? He said that on live TV. So what does that tell you right there? Now it just happened a couple years ago. What does that tell you right there? Yeah, you can say a little bit, but you know not what to say. You won't have a job. You'll be blackballed. You'll be gone.
exactly. And we're tired of the sorries because sorries with no action don't mean shit.
Right.
If somebody keeps punch you in the face and oh I'm sorry, then they punch you in the face again next week. Oh I'm sorry, then they punch you in the face again. Are they really sorry? No, they're not. They're just telling you that so that you can try to get over it before they punch you again. And we're tired of getting punched in the face because that's what they keep spitting in our faces, fans, and taking our fandom for granted and thinking that we just gonna forever just do whatever they want and stay loyal to them to the day that we die. And we're done with it. We're loyal to the star, but we're not loyal to Jerry and Stephen Jones. Period.
There it is.
So that's
a
the
fact.
last thing I said.
That's a fact. And I'm gonna let a mic drop with that. We are out. See y'all. Peace.
Yeah.